Phil, very exciting time. It's the big car show. It's the North American International Auto Show, and it is kicked off in Detroit. The world's biggest and best-known car makers are unveiling their newest models before the show opens to the general public later this week. And the media got its first peek today, and our Rosa Kazan is one of about 5,000 journalists attending this massive auto show. Rosa, how are things in Detroit?
Well, Michelle, it was a very eventful day here in Detroit, which is hosting its 25th annual North American International Auto Show. Automakers from around the world are here displaying some 500 vehicles and introducing some 50 new models. As one of the organizers has told me, if a car maker has anything new to reveal to the world, they're going to do it here in Detroit this week. You might call it the Oscar of the auto industry. The North American Car and Truck of the Year Awards revealed here at the 25th North American International Auto Show in Detroit.
And the winner is the Stingray.
And this is the year of General Motors, as Chevrolet, a GM brand, swept both awards with its Silverado truck and Corvette Stingray.
What a beautiful day in Detroit. Perfect weather for a drive in a Corvette.
It was another sign of a comeback for the automaker that went bankrupt in 2009 and needed a $50 billion government bailout to stay afloat. And as if to earn itself more bragging rights, GM unveiled a new model of the Corvette, a 625 horsepower machine, the Corvette Z06.
The big nasty, the 2015 Corvette Z06.
And Chevrolet says it could not be more proud.
This car is absolutely exotic car performance, and it's sexy in a different way. Complete performance, but it's also brutal. This is, I said it on stage, it's the big nasty of the Corvette.
The Corvette is a true American icon. The first one was introduced in 1953.
Active res matching.
So here it is, the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, the 2014 North American Car of the Year. And last year, the Corvette Stingray was the most awarded car in the world. There was a lot of fanfare for another U.S. auto major, Ford, which boasted about its exceptional growth and profitability.
We are laser focused on making progress on our Ford and our Lincoln brands, delivering 17 straight quarters of profitability.
But its biggest moment was this. The introduction of its new 2015 F-150, the best-selling car in America for the last 32 years. Now 700 pounds lighter and therefore more fuel efficient, thanks to its new aluminum body. There were other surprises as well, such as Toyota's concept sports car, the FT1.
This was our approach in creating beautiful solutions for dirty air.
For more than a decade, Toyota has focused on reliable sedans such as the Camry and Corolla. So this new spiritual pace car, as Toyota called it, is perhaps a signal that what some have called an era of boring design has come to an end. Well, Michelle, Detroit being the birthplace of the U.S. auto industry, of course, all eyes are here also on U.S. manufacturers in particular. And Ford is getting a lot of attention, as I mentioned, with its new risky take of this country's most popular car, Ford's pickup truck F-150. And earlier, I spoke with the Executive Vice President and President of the Americas of Ford, Joseph Hinrich, and I asked him just what makes this car so popular.
It's been the best-selling truck for 37 and the best-selling vehicle for 32, as you said. You know, really, people trust the Ford brand when it comes to build Ford tough. And people with trucks, they want capability, they want great styling, they want trust in the brand, and they want fuel economy. And this new truck gives them all of that.
Ford sales grew 12% last year. You also saw a pretty good year globally. What explains that expansion? What drove that growth?
When you look in the United States, last year we grew a half a point of market share more than anybody in the industry. So Ford had a very strong year last year, helped by our F-Series sales. We're up 20%. So our truck sales were strong. In the U.S., as the economy rebounds and the housing market gets better, more trucks tend to be sold, and we're the truck leader, so that works well for us. Globally, we sold over 6 million vehicles last year for Ford Motor Company. Our strongest growth was in China, where we grew almost 50%, and also, like I said, in the U.S., where we grew around 11%, and our trucks were up 20%. So strong growth in our two key markets, United States and China.
So what do you think explains such a growth, such an explosive growth of the Chinese auto market?
China is very important for us. Hongzhongyao, very important in Mandarin. I was there for 3 years, came back in 2012, and our China business grew 50% last year, and we introduced a number of new products and built some new plants. We have 2 more manufacturing plants opening this year in China, and we're seeing great growth there. It's the largest auto market in the world, nearly 21 million vehicles sold last year. So much demand in China for the consumers because they're reaching the level of income to be able to afford a vehicle. They want the freedom of their own transportation. And there's so many great stories of Chinese buyers. So China is going to continue to be the largest market in the world for automotive sales, and Ford will be a big player there.
In staying with China and the emerging markets in general, how important are those markets to you? I know you said that you expect 1/3 of your sales to come from the Asia-Pacific region. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
In 2010, 1 out of 6 vehicles sold in Ford were in Asia-Pacific and Africa. And by the end of the decade, we expect 1 out of 3 vehicles sold by Ford to be in Asia-Pacific. And that is while all industries are growing. So Asia-Pacific is becoming a very important part of our business, led by China, but other markets like ASEAN, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam. And we expect strong growth in India. We're investing a lot in India over the near term as well.
So, of course, Ford did not ask for a government bailout a few years ago, but you did generally support it. And do you still think that it was a very good idea to go ahead and bail out Chrysler and General Motors?
We, Alan Mulally, on behalf of Ford, participated in the hearings in Congress on behalf of the industry because we felt in 2008, 2009 that the industry couldn't collapse in total. The supply base was too important to all of us. So we felt it was necessary for the government to intervene. You can tell by the way the auto industry's come back and the economy's come back that certainly there's some success stories there. We're very proud that Ford did it on our own. We invested our own money. We paid back everybody. We grew this business on our own, but we're also good to see the auto industry in total doing better.
This year at the North American International Auto Show, we're seeing a lot of sexy cars, sports cars, race cars, and not so much focus on fuel efficiency. Is that not a priority? Is that not a concern for automakers anymore?
Well, we're all focused on fuel efficiency, trust me. And fuel economy is still an important part of a consumer's consideration and what they buy. For some vehicles, it's the #1 consideration. I mean, the F-150 announcement today, that was all about capability and fuel efficiency and improving the vehicle. I mean, taking up to 700 pounds of weight out allows you to get much more fuel efficient and still deliver the same kind of capability. So believe me, it's front and center for us. Our new Mustang is going to have a 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine. Our new F-150 is going to have a 2.7-liter V6 EcoBoost engine. We're downsizing the engines, increasing the capability to get better fuel economy for our customers.
So there you go, Joseph Hinrichs, the Executive Vice President of Ford and the President of the Americas, sharing his outlook for the U.S. market and global sales as well. Michelle?
Well, Rosa, cars are usually the big stars of auto shows, obviously, but this year, Mary Barra is giving some of the cars a run for their money. The soon-to-be new GM CEO made her public debut at the show, and she has granted very limited media access till now. The press has been clamoring to get a sense of her. So what has been the impression of Barra, Rosa?
Well, yes, Michelle, she has indeed been getting a lot of attention here. And in fact, it's this week on Wednesday that Mary Barra takes over GM as its CEO, the first woman to head a U.S. car maker, a major global automaker, in fact, for that matter. And it's happening this week, and reporters have been following her around. She's been, she's been publicly seen. She gave a presentation yesterday at GM's presentation, and one of the executives of GM actually told reporters, you guys have elevated her to superstar status just overnight. But they actually think it's good, because it's helping GM to get even more recognition as a brand worldwide.
Well, Rosa, GM has had a lot of attention at the auto show, winning Best Car and Best Truck, and all of the hype generated by Mary Barra. Now, one of the other things that happens at the Detroit Auto Show is that the prototype cars or concept cars are revealed every year, and they're really a way for companies to test ideas, gauge reaction, and hint at future designs. So what have been some of the most interesting concept cars unveiled so far? What have you found most exciting, Rosa?
There's a lot happening here indeed, Michelle, but and it's kind of hard to point out, really. We'll just get out of the way here. It's hard to point out what concept car is actually the most exciting for me, but I think what's exciting is generally the fact that concept cars are coming back to Detroit. That the automakers are unveiling their new models, their new concept cars here once again. And it's really a sign of the industry's revival, of its rebound, because the automakers are no longer concerned just about surviving and staying in business, but as the industry recovers and as sales improve, they actually have that breathing space now, that room, to think creatively again, to think outside the box, and to actually show some life and imagination. So that's what's exciting here, I think, at the auto show in Detroit.
All right, you carry on having fun there, Rosa. We'll check in with you again tomorrow. And of course, the Detroit Auto Show, a big boost for the city of Detroit, boosting its economy about $365 million last year.